Harvesting from the garden. There's nothing more rewarding for all those hours you've put into raising your produce than at harvest time. That feeling you get knowing that you actually grew this from a seed, you've carefully watered, fed and nurtured it to the completion of its life cycle. The bounty is the culmination of the season's work, and oh how it warms the heart and soul of the gardener. All season we dream of the harvest and what recipes we will make, what we will preserve and what we will share. That special moment you proudly serve up a meal made with your own produce makes it all worthwhile. There's nothing more loving and nurturing than the sacred act of producing and preparing the meal you serve your family. Thanks to a renewed interest in knowing where your food comes from, people are becoming food producers in their own gardens once more. Harvest time can be a busy time because the summer crops produce the most fruit and veggies all around the same few months. It can be a full-on time for preparing, preserving, freezing and more. Because so much comes ripe in only a few short months of the season, the savvy and prepared person will make preserving their harvest a priority, so they can enjoy their harvested food all year round. It's this busy time that keeps the pantries and freezers well stocked for the winter months. Preserving is making a resurgence as gardeners are looking how they can store seasonal food all year round. We love the old ways, but happily embrace some of the newer things available to us.
Hi guys, it's Anita here from Flower Folk Farm, and this is Cathi from Little Garden Big Dreams.
Hi everyone.
Thanks so much for joining us. It's great to have you along with us today. Today we're going to be talking about harvesting, preserving and seasonal food security.
We're going to give you guys a really easy recipe today. We're going to show you how to preserve beetroot. We're going to use this beetroot here that we've picked out of Anita's garden, and we're going to preserve it on the stove without any fancy canning equipment. We're going to show you how to make a simple brine and how to hot seal it in secondhand jars. So it's a really good way, the old-fashioned way, inexpensive, and a way for you to learn how to do something easy to start off with your first preserving, and you can get something on your shelf.
You have to use two hands. Oh, use your strength.
We've got the jars in here. These are just some secondhand jam jars, and we've sterilised them there in the oven. We've just had them going in there for about 20 minutes, just on a low heat. Now you can put them through the dishwasher, or you can fill them with hot water to sterilise them, but we just want to get them up to temperature, and that way they're safe to use, they're clean to use. And now we'll start on showing you how to make the preserved beetroot. We're just removing the leaves off the beetroot here, and a couple of ideas that you can use those beetroot leaves so that they don't go to waste. You can put them into juice, you can juice them in with your fruit and veggies, or you can use the young ones in a salad, and you could also give them to the chickens or put them in compost. Now you don't have to peel them, you just cut the tops off and get as much of the dirt and the stray bits off as you want. We're just going to boil them on the stove in the pot in some water. Just make sure they're covered with water, and then once they're cooked you can get a fork. So cook them till they're fork tender, and then we let them cool down a little bit, and we can just pop the skins off them. It's that easy. Okay, this one here, it's quite large, so I'm going to cut this up into a few pieces just so that this one is the same size as the others. You can see that one, it's got beautiful stripes through it. That's an heirloom beetroot. So I'm going to cut that up into 4 so that it will cook the same time as all those other little baby beets that I've got there. I might do this one in half too. Okay, and I'm just going to fill this up with water now. Just cover them, and we'll put those on the stove probably about 25 minutes, maybe a bit less because they're so small, just till we can poke a fork into them. The beetroots are just cooking away there. We've just got them on a low boil. You don't have to boil them really hard. They can simmer just until you can get the fork into them. And we're going to use some of that beautiful red liquid in the brine as well. That's my secret to a great preserved beetroot. You can see there I can put the fork in those. They're nice and tender after they've been cooking for about 25 to 30 minutes. And I'm going to tip these here into the colander and strain off the water. And we'll just let those cool, and then we can peel the skins off them. This is the liquid that's left over from boiling the beetroots. So that is going to be our water. We're only doing a small amount of beets, whereas if we had boiled a bigger amount, we would have a lot more water. So this is just a small amount. We're going to use 1.5 cups of malt vinegar. Pour that in there, and we've got a teaspoon of salt, and for the recipe it says 1/2 cup of brown sugar and half a cup of raw sugar, but we've only got raw sugar, so that's what we're using today. It doesn't matter, you just use what you've got on hand. And we just stir all that in, and I'll take it over to the heat and let that all boil in together. The skins come off really easy. They just come off in your fingers. Get any bits of dirt or strings or anything like that, and just throw those over into the pot. Oops, that one just flew out. Putting the beetroots in the jar. There we are. And then you just pour that hot liquid into the jars. They're nice and warm because they've been in the oven sterilising. Just put it up about that far. And then we just get the lids and put them straight on and make those as tight as you can. And that's all you have to do.
guys, today we are coming to you from the most beautiful gardens here at the Geelong Botanical Gardens. As you can see behind us, it's pretty amazing. We've just taken a stroll through the rose garden and taken a few pickings. So we just wanted to show you some of the old ways of preserving, but we also embrace the newer ways of doing things too. There's lots of different methods, and you know, that's what Futuresteading is all about.
There's the old way with the jars. Well, we consider that the old way, using the second-hand jars. It's a good way, isn't it, to use your jars, because look, there's jar shortages going on and they're expensive to buy. So we just want to show you how our grandmas did it. And then the second demo was Anita using her Thermomix.
And not everyone can have a Thermomix. Like, I mean, it's an expensive piece of equipment. But, you know, it's just nice to know how to do things from scratch without any expensive equipment, because then if by chance you find yourself with no equipment, no power, things like that, you know, you can still sort of utilise what you've got and make it work for you and still be able to preserve things.
And I think it's really good to learn the old ways as well, because they really are the best ways. And those people back in the early days really knew how to preserve stuff and keep it for a long time.
Yeah, so as soon as we're about to record, what happens? Mr. Joe Blogs pops on his mower.
Yeah.
Check him out.
That's the biggest mower I've ever seen, and I've seen a lot of mowers. Another reason that we did this video was because of everything that's going on in the world, and I think that if you rely wholly and solely on the supermarket for your food, coming up you're going to have trouble. Already there's a lot of price rises and a lack of availability of things just for different reasons, and it's always Anita's and my encouragement to you guys to start to grow something, even just one thing, and also to teach you how to harvest and how to keep food across the year. With our summer harvest coming, there'll be a lot more ways that both of us can show you how to preserve things. We're really worried about food security, and where we live out in a rural area, there really isn't much at all in the way of food assistance or food help. We've had a bit of a look into it. It's Anita's forte, and that's why she has the Grow Free food cart at her place where people can just come and take a bit of food. But Anita is actually a qualified food security project officer, so we're going to let her talk a bit now about food security and the things that we can do to help ourselves to have a bit more food security in these troubling times.
When we look at food security, there are 4 pillars that you want to be focusing on and looking into around how you can sustain your food, and they are access, utilisation and stability. And when you grow your own food, you're actually knocking all of those pillars on the head, because growing your own food means that you have a constant access to that food, you have control over it.
And you're not at anyone else's mercy either, are you?
And you're not at anyone else's mercy. And on top of that, it's seasonal, so you're going to be growing what is in season. It's also a great idea to barter with friends. So like Cathi and I do it all the time. I might grow something and Cathi will grow something different, and then we swap. And that's a really great way of making sure that you've got some sort of security around your crop, and also allows you to access a lot of different things that you can't possibly grow everything. So it's about thinking wider than just yourself. It's about thinking about community and how you can engage with community and grow things together, share and barter with each other, take money out of the equation. I mean, I do that all the time with people and it works really well. Swap some eggs for some silver beet or something like that. It's really easy. And if we start to think local, we are starting to take transportation out of the issue as well. So thinking about growing food within your community, being able to barter and swap and share what you grow is a really great way of securing, moving forward. It's a great way of actually securing your food system. Okay, thanks guys for coming along today, and we really appreciate you watching. We hope you've learnt something, and
If you've got any questions, just put them down below and we'll answer them for you. So have a great week and we'll see you soon.
bye.
Bye.
See what I've pinched?
Look at what Anita's got. Pocket full of roses. Woo.
I've still got heaps of room. There's way more room. I can get more. Star of the show. Check out all these roses. There's so many.